I'm Laurie and this is my husband David, and we live here at Macquarie Hills. I work at the John Hunter Hospital. I'm a nurse, and David works at John Hunter Hospital. He's a ward clerk and we do shift work and we love travelling. Travelling!
Yeah, great.
Well, we'd like to be. We've got about 5 years maybe before we can retire, and then we'll be on the road. So we just thought we'll get the van now and get it organised so that when we're ready, we own it, we pay for it, we can go.
Just a little bit of background on that. We started out, we've been motorcyclists all our life, members of the Ulysses Club, and we started out with tents. The tent became a camper trailer. The camper trailer became a little caravan.
A little A-van.
And
then we've progressed
to what we've got
to
now.
A Jayco, and then the same size Jayco, but one with a shower and toilet.
So as you get older, things change, if you know what I mean. So
you need more comforts.
Yeah. So that's sort of our background a little bit as far as things go. We've been around Australia a couple of times on the bikes, and once in a car, and we sort of used that as a little bit of a prelude to going back and seeing things properly. And that's what we're up to now. Being members of the Ulysses Club, we every year we have an AGM in a different spot. Next year it's at Alice Springs. So we've been to Alice Springs, but we didn't do it over properly when we were there because we didn't have the time. So we'll go back this year to the AGM, and we'll spend next year, I should say, and we'll spend 5 to 6 weeks over that area, doing it right over again. We'll go back up to Uluru, we'll do the canyons, we'll do Devil's Marbles, we'll do all that to death.
Hot air ballooning, you know, camel rides, all the whole big...
The whole thing.
Champagne.
Yeah, champagne breakfast with the camel rides.
Yeah, the whole thing. So, yeah, that's sort of about what we're about.
I think the first trip that we did around Australia on the bike was a memorable one. We were on a trike we had then, and we're towing just a little trailer with a tent, and we went all the way around Australia in a little tent. A few places we stopped at little roadhouses, and we got little rooms with an air conditioner and 2 single beds. That's all they had in them. Just to get a good night's sleep because it was just so hot you couldn't sleep in a tent.
We were travelling a little early. There again, it was the AGM again.
The AGM was in Bunbury, so you have to go when the AGM is on. So it was sort of the end of March into April, so it was a little bit early to be doing Broome and Darwin because it was still very hot up there. And trying to sleep in a tent was not good.
And wet at that time of the year, wasn't it?
No. It was the wet season was finished. It was beautiful weather. It was days like this, only 30, 32 degrees every day.
Yeah.
And we just come out of winter, and we were doing a bit tough there. And I'm the only rider of that, so I need to sleep, and I couldn't sleep in the heat in the tent. So we'd hire these things. I call them a donga. And all they were is 2 single beds and an air conditioner. And turn the air conditioner on, let it go all night and get some sleep, basically. But some of the memories of that trip were the people that we met staying in round roadhouses. You know, blokes from Telstra doing the satellite phones and all this sort of thing. Like we sat around and drank Telstra beer half the night. You know, it was, and they're the sort of things that travelling Australia are made of. It's not sort of like going to towns and seeing all that sort of thing. It's only secondary to the people that you meet on the road. You know, like in the van, you pull up of a night and within an hour you're sitting in a circle with a fire going, talking to people you've never met in your life about life's experiences and what they're doing and where they're going and that. And that's what caravan's all about, and that's what we love.
Well, we've met some very good friends that live at Maitland that we met in Longreach.
Never seen them before
on our last trip. You know, it was our last trip we did up to Longreach and Maryborough and around and into Longreach, and we did the Cobb and Co tour at Longreach. There was 4 couples on on a coach ride like each time. There was one couple from Maitland, one couple from Charlestown, one couple from Cessnock, and us. All from the Hunter Valley, and we were in Longreach, and we'd never met any of them before in our lives, you know. It was like, hello, we're all home. You know, so you meet people from close to where you are, wherever you go, you know. And before we moved to Newcastle, we were in Wagga, and we met people in Karratha and Darwin and everywhere that was from Wagga. It's a Jayco Sterling, 17 foot. Good design that we like, and it's got a shower and a toilet and a full oven, air conditioning. That's important when you're travelling, I think. Yeah, double bed because that's what we prefer. Leather seats in the dining area because we have the 2 dogs and we think that the leather's better for them than the material, for dog hair wise and what have you, so it's easier to clean. And yeah, it's got everything in it that we need for travelling. It's got the extra battery, so if you want to do any free camping, you can do free camping. Not that we like free camping, we like to get in the caravan parks, but overnight somewhere if you're stuck, yeah, you can do the free camp. When we had the A van, we were looking to upgrade, and we went to a lot of caravan parks, a lot of caravan dealers around, and nobody seemed to be interested in
selling us a van.
Selling us a van or trading in the A van that we had. And then we went to Jayco, and they just were so friendly, and they were interested in us and wanted to sell us a van and wanted to trade what we had. So,
but also to Jayco Australia,
good deal.
Yeah, Australia-wide.
So this is
warranty-wise, if we have a problem anywhere. And a lot of vans these days come into Australia in a box, and you know it's a bit hard to get spare parts out of England, yeah, or China, or you know. So that was another big thing. After sale service, when we bought the first Jayco, there was a bit of an issue here and there, which was not really their fault. It was just one of those things. The warranty was instant. Yeah. We got a phone call.
It was a recall on something, and we didn't have to take the van to them. They came to us. They came out to Boolaroo and checked it. It was the wheel studs on it, and they checked them all and fixed it. You know, no problems. We didn't have any worries with them at all.
So that was Jayco Newcastle?
Yeah, yep. Jayco Newcastle. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was,
they had a mobile unit that came around if you couldn't get the van in. And it was not that we couldn't get the van in, but it's a hassle going over, hooking it up, taking it in, coming back, you know. And when we work shift work, it's a bit awkward. And they said, no, we've got a mobile unit, we'll come to you, you tell us when you're going to be there. So it was so easy.
But the whole deal, as far as that went, didn't matter who you dealt with out there. Everybody was, they knew what they were talking about. They knew basically what we wanted, and the fact that we worked shift work and that, they were more than willing to go that extra mile to accommodate us, which we found was unique.
We dealt with Kenny. He was the sales manager. He did all the dealing and wheeling and dealing. And then we dealt with Larry. He was the one that showed us the ins and outs on the vans both times when we bought them, and how to set them up and what we needed to know. And we dealt with Gus, and he did all the detailing on the vans. And the last van that we bought, he actually put the new
Heyman
Reese sway bars on the car and on the van and set it all up for us. And each one that we dealt with, not a problem. Nothing was out of their depth. They just answered all the questions without any problems. Nothing was too hard.
And the thing with Larry was, even though he knew that he'd done all this before, he went through everything again to show us. You know, he said, "I know you know this." He said, "But," he said, "we'll go through it again."
But there was a few things on the new van that we didn't have on the other van, like the shower and toilet. So we went through the toilet, you know, how to empty it all and what chemicals to use in it, and the battery pack and all that. That was all new. the radio that was in it we didn't have in the other one, and so he's just gone through everything, and it was really good.
And as it turned out, with Kenny, the sales manager out there, we had we knew him from, oh, well, not actually knew him, through a friend from Wagga Wagga. He worked down there, and when I told a friend who's also a caravanner who we were dealing with, he said, "Oh, tell him, does he remember Paul and Gwen?" And of course,
and he does.
That was a bit of an affiliation with him as well. It didn't sway the fact that we bought the van there, but it just made it a little bit more homey, if you know what I mean. Yeah, fantastic team. There's no two ways about it. And I don't say that because, you know, it's just, they are.
We'd go back again. If we ever had to update again, we'd go back. I'd say to definitely go and check them out, because price-wise and service-wise, you can't beat them.
Yeah, Jayco Newcastle, they like, we haggled. I won't sit here and say we didn't, and but they were more than willing to meet us in the middle. And I think in this day and age, haggling has become the national standard, and it was just, you know, they didn't wipe their hands with us, so they wanted to do the deal then and there, and they came, sort of met us in the middle, no problems at all. So when we shook hands and walked out of there, we sort of felt satisfied that we'd done the best, very best we could,
and got what we wanted.
And we got what we wanted into the bargain. So and some extra too, I don't mind telling you. To buy locally keeps money in our area, number one. But why would you want to go anywhere else when you get service like that?
It's local.
Because they are local. And service, the friendliness of the team, after sales service, the whole thing. Why would you want to go anywhere else?
And if it's local, when you have to take the van in for a service, it's local. You don't have to take it to Sydney or to wherever else. It's all local, and it's more easy and for everyone.
It's just a matter of if you need something, it's basically there. You're going to just drive out the road and you've got what you want. End of story. That easy.